What if the words you needed to say the most were trapped forever between your heart and your hand? Letters left unsent, regrets sealed in silence, forgotten drafts, ink fading on yellowed paper, words burned in fear. These are not just letters. They are echoes of moments too fragile to survive outside of us. They are silent witnesses to feelings buried beneath the passing of time. We all carry something we never said. To someone who left, to someone who stayed, or to someone who will never hear it now. Not every letter finds its way to the postbox. Some hide in drawers. Some are folded between pages of forgotten books. Some sleep quietly beneath old photographs. Some vanish in smoke before anyone could read them. Yet even in silence, these words speak. They carry the weight of what we couldn't say. Love, fear, regret, apology. Why do we keep them? Why do we hold back? Perhaps because some truths feel too heavy to release. Or perhaps somewhere deep down, we hope someone will understand without us having to speak. Because these letters were never written for the world. They were written for versions of ourselves we no longer are. For people we loved too much or lost too soon. For moments too raw to survive the light. Think of these letters like sealed bottles floating in a locked room. But inside there, deep feelings move quietly beneath the surface, unseen, unheard. We write to heal. We write to release. We write to confess. But not every word is brave enough to leave. These letters remain, waiting, pressed between pages, tucked into quiet corners, like breath caught in the lungs of yesterday. Unsent letters are not failures. They are conversations we needed to have, even if only with ourselves. They are proof of tenderness, proof of our longing to reach out, even when we couldn't.
Throughout history, countless letters have been written but never sent. Words born in moments of desperation, love, anger, or heartbreak. Yet, for reasons known only to their writers, they remained hidden. These unsent words reveal something profoundly human. Our fear of being misunderstood, our longing to connect, our struggle with vulnerability. Sometimes, these silent letters teach us more about the human heart than any words we dare to send. And often, our most important conversations happen alone. Here are 3 quiet stories, traces of humanity left behind, that show how even unsent words can shape lives long after they are written. 1. Franz Kafka's Unsent Letters to Felice Bauer. Franz Kafka, one of the most influential writers of the 20th century, is remembered for his haunting tales of alienation and anxiety. Yet behind his fiction lay a quieter, more personal struggle. The inability to share his heart without fear. Kafka wrote countless letters to his first fiancée, Felice Bauer. Letters filled with doubt, longing, and self-recrimination. Many were torn up by mourning. Some were left between pages, unsent. Why? Because Kafka feared being seen too clearly. He feared his words might burden, confuse, or reveal too much of his fragile interior world. His unsent letters show us sometimes love exists not in the words we share, but in the ones we carry silently, afraid to release. Sometimes the deepest ache is not being unloved, but being too afraid to let ourselves be known. Today, those unsent letters, or at least those that survived, have been preserved and published, giving us rare insight into the private heart of Kafka. As for Felice Bauer, she moved on with her life, marrying another man and living until 1960. The letters she once received, or never received, have become part of literary history. silent testaments to a love that never found its proper ending. 2. The Hiroshima victims' letters. After the atomic bomb fell, among the rubble of Hiroshima were letters that had never reached their destination. They were written in moments of fear and desperation, messages clinging to hope even as the world unraveled around them. Some were hurriedly scrawled in crowded shelters. "I miss you. I will come home soon." Others were carefully folded into coat pockets, tucked close to hearts destined never to reunite with those they loved. These words never found their intended readers, yet they survived, carried through ash and ruin to whisper across time. Today, these letters remain in Hiroshima's Peace Memorial Museum, fragile whispers of love, hope, and humanity preserved in the shadow of devastation. Even now, they seem to hum with the quiet urgency of lives interrupted. Even as the world burned, people still wrote. Even as the sky fell, they still reached for connection. These letters speak to something unshakably human, our instinct to reach out, even when there is no certainty anyone will hear us. Today, these words are displayed not merely as artifacts, but as bridges across generations. School children, historians, and travelers from across the world pause in front of these fragile papers, hearing through faded ink the timeless echo of ordinary people holding onto extraordinary hope. They remind us, even in the darkest moments, we hold fast to the simplest hope: to be seen, to be remembered, to return home. 3. Virginia Woolf's final letter. Virginia Woolf, one of the most influential modernist writers of the 20th century, battled with severe episodes of mental illness throughout her life. She struggled against the weight of depression and psychosis. In an era when understanding and treatment of mental health were still crude and limited, her husband, Leonard Woolf, had been her steadfast companion through these battles, offering care and patience even as her condition worsened. Her final letter to Leonard was left behind on her writing desk, a raw and vulnerable farewell to the person she trusted most. In it, she tried to explain her slipping grasp on reality and her exhaustion from fighting the invisible tides within her mind. She confessed her growing certainty that her suffering would only deepen, and that she no longer wished to be a burden to him. She ended the letter with love, not bitterness, gratitude, not blame. She recognized Leonard's unwavering devotion, thanked him for the life they had shared, and expressed a deep, if heartbreaking, tenderness. Then she walked into the River Ouse with stones in her pockets, leaving behind not just words but a profound silence. Her unsent words echo through time as quietly devastating reminders of how final words are often the hardest to give. Sometimes they remain not because we refuse to send them, but because we run out of time, leaving them to speak for us long after we are gone. Leonard Woolf did read Virginia's letter after her death. It was not hidden or undiscovered. It was left deliberately for him to find. Today, this letter is preserved in archives as a historical and literary artifact. Scholars, historians, and readers revisit it as a haunting window into Virginia Woolf's final days, a letter of profound sorrow and quiet love that continues to echo far beyond its original intention.
Have you ever carried words inside you that you couldn't bring yourself to share? Not just letters never sent, but thoughts you kept quietly folded in the corners of your heart. Words you longed for someone to understand, but never found the right moment, the right person, or the courage to say aloud. What is it that you've wished someone could hear, but held back, unsure if the world was ready or if you were? Maybe today is the day to let them go. Or maybe they were always meant to stay with you, quietly keeping you company, a soft reminder of who you once were and who you hope to reach. If this story moved you, share this video with someone who understands the weight of unsaid things, the words we wanted to be heard, but that never found their way. And if you find solace in quiet stories like this, subscribe to Thought 101, where even silence has something to say. Thank you for listening.